the reasoning of why I was asked to show up today. And it's been, of course, as you know, the way that my soul works with the divine. And it takes me a few days to sit in that energy, to be in prayer, to be in meditation. And one thing that's been asked of me over the last 2 to 3 days is praying for the collective a lot and delivering a lot of people from illnesses, delivering people from limitations, delivering people from beliefs that just don't coincide with where things are headed anymore, and they understand they're just pulling apart of the two. So part of the message is what is kind of happening to you, and you guys will be able to resonate with it, because I want to help you understand what you're going through, what you're feeling on a human level, an interstellar level, but also a very deepening of the spiritual level too, at the same time in vibration. And that's what I was asked to come in and deliver today. So we're going to get started here as I open up the channels and the pathways, and I will bring this energy in and we will speak what needs to be spoken. And then if there is healing or deliverance or anything that needs to come about in those ways, if you guys would like to donate, the channel is open for that as well. If you guys would like to have a personal balancing or energy read with me today, that is also available to you. But this is the most important reason that I'm here, is to deliver the word that needs to be delivered to you today. So the very first thing, and how they asked me to lead this today, is we're going to open up those channels and more. All right. Everything is about to change. There's no one to blame. Nothing will remain the same, but nothing will be done in vain. You're not meant to live in shame and blame. Deliverance of the energies of the enemies is what has torn since you were born. So a lot of the things, the spiritual life for me has never been a theory. I've always had to live it. And now many of you are having to live it, and how to go through it, and have to understand it and breathe it and experience it. And the way that it comes through and the different pathways that are changing are very new to you. And you haven't been in this experience before, and you haven't felt these things before, and you haven't been in the deliverance of the limitations where you feel like you have been reborn, is what's being said to me right now. And so you were never meant to be torn. You came out perfect. You were never meant to be torn. But the energies of the enemies knew when you were born. It knew what you were here to do, to complete your destiny once more. And now the ripping of the veil is even more. And so this is what has been coming through for the past 3 days, is everything is new. The energies is new. Thank you, Yeshua and Yahweh, for being here today. And so what I'm here to tell you is that you can no longer go back to the past pathways. You remember when there was a point where you were trying to get to 0 point. 0 point is the internal peace, the voices, the silence. You had to move away from spiritual violence. And so when your energies of yourself came into alignment, your knees came to the embracing of the door once more. And when you chose to hit the floor and allow your knees to hit the floor once more, everything was opened up for you in a new door. You humbled yourself to asking for more. So per your request, you have been put to the test, because you have all asked for a seat at the table to rest. And so now you're being encompassed by that rest, and you have been blessed. And what that means is that the anointing of the oil seeps through your pores, okay? And what that means is there is a difference between the anointing and the anointed. And that is something that I am here to be spoken here and through you today. When you have the anointing, you have the healing, you have the energy of connecting through to the divine. But when you are anointed this time, the divine chooses to show up physically through you. The divine chooses to physically manifest through you. That is the difference between the anointing and the anointed. The anointed is where the energy of the divine choose to sit here and manifest through those that are anointed in this lifetime. Not everyone is anointed, but those are many that have and carry the anointing. And so that is one thing that the divine has asked to speak through today, is that there is a difference in the pathways between the anointing and the anointed. And when you are anointed, the divine chooses to manifest through you in certain circumstances when you are in the energy of. Many of you are cultivating that experience to be intertwined with the interstellar energies of the original pollinator in this lifetime that is coming through you to carry that energy. Many of you are being called to what is your Esther moment, that is where you carry the anointed through you, where the divine has asked for you to be in a certain type of energy to receive so that it can manifest through you. And they are telling me now you can no longer go back to the old pathways. The 0 point gravity is where everything stays. And now you are in the state of nothingness. And in that state of nothingness, anything that you have been through, you cannot go back to those things to help you solve the new. Everything is new. Everything is new. The energy inside of you is new. Every energy around you is new. You have never had the experience to be able now to pull and allow the interstellar energies of the divine and all of the other energies that are here to help us service in this lifetime to then pull you to the new. So everything that you are doing is with a new revitalized energy inside of you, a new way of seeing, a new way of believing, a new way of tapping through. And that is where the interstellar connections of all of you and all of your beings and all of your pieces are coming through. This is where we talk about the merger of the two, the inner you, the outer you. You thought it wasn't true, but some of you call that to your higher self to be true. And what I am speaking here to you today is about the interstellar pathways and the dimensional layers that are now pulling you to the higher layers. So everything is new. You can't go back and solve new things with old ways. So the way that you do things is completely new. The old patterns, the old thoughts, the old ways, there is no longer there astray. So this is why you feel the peeling of the two. You also know that there are things that are going to happen in timelines where they all cultivate and come together for you. What do you think has to happen in an interstellar way of spirituality? You have to merge the two. Where two become one, the one become the sum. You have now merged with the higher self and the interstellar ones to be able to divine and see things in all certain pathways and all certain ways, which is the merging of the two. You are no longer deconstructing things inside of you. You are now reconstructing the new. Nothing is old will be able to be used. Everything is new. So then therefore, everything is going to crumble and more, because the old structures inside of you are now ready for the new. You're ready for the new thought, the new wave, the new interstellar connections that are coming in the pathways of the divine at this time to merge all timelines so that you can move through into the new frequency when this earth and this diplomacy is chosen to be removed, is what was just said to me. So therefore, you are going to see the lower deconstruction of the two, where you are now in your higher self to be true, and you are going to see the deconstruction of the pathways. This is all because you have internally asked this to be true for you. You have all asked this to happen inside of you, and now that will become the reflection outside of you. The Mandela effect, the timelines, the splitting of the pathways, and the remerging of the two. The original old and the new is actually newer than the old, because all of that was bought, borrowed, sold, and many things were left untold. These are the stories of gold that will soon unfold, where all the knowledge will be accessible in this lifetime to many of you who are cultivating the experience of the frequency from within you to reflect outside of you. So you are the ones that are merging the pathways to bring these things new. And there has been interstellar connections that have been coming through, but they have also been testing you to see if you're going to sit and do as you have been asked to do. If you are open to receive, then you will be able to believe the energies that run through you. And only by being able to open yourself to receive will you be able to fortify the new pathways and no longer be in reprieve. Dismantle. Only by dismantling you were you able to see through the different pathways that were not of you and the stories that they tried to make about you that were not true. So then therefore you wouldn't believe in what it was that you were here to receive or do in this prophecy of the new. And now all of those doubts and all of those shouts and all of those humiliation rituals can no longer be in a place of where you receive. And they just kind of like gave me the aspects of the Kundalini awakening on both sides. So there's something here intertwined about the divine feminine being on the rise. So many of you might be seeing through different layers of timelines, different holograms, different wave lines is what they're saying here. And your passion is becoming your deliverance, which is becoming your purpose, which is becoming your experience. So where you are being moved to, don't question what it is that you're here to do. Just move in the experience. And that's the divine feminine nature of what's trying to move through you. So you are going to be moving. Now, when they say this, some of you are physically moving because where God and the divine is calling you, you are being set up. So then therefore you have to trust and you must go is what is being said. Some of you are being then moved into other vibrations of different responsibilities, and the different responsibilities could be like at your job, you're over more people. So there's a lot of different movement types here that they're giving me here. And for those of you that are here, I'm supposed to tell you that this is where you had to learn that your light and your energy was that of mine. You were not equal. This is part of the second sequel, okay? You are my people. So it's going to look differently for a lot of you. Some are physically moving. Some are getting a higher pay grade. Some are moving into a higher form of responsibility. They're saying higher honor, right? And longevity. So this is really, really talking about business or movement, or because when you come into the Esther moment, you're coming into a place where it's not about the divine union and the marrying of the king. If that's what you're focusing on, the material thing, then you have missed the movement. What it is it's about freeing yourself and freeing other people, because you have the understanding of what it's like to not be equal, is what was said. And so you're delivering people in different ways. Some of you are delivering them of traumas and energies, that the mindsets or the limitations or the beliefs. And so you guys are here to cultivate the seventh sacred fire prophecy. Thank you, Chief. The seventh sacred fire prophecy, what was always meant to be, the coming of together and never splitting of the community. And so all the pathways are coming back online, exactly like the tree of life this time. So of course you had to do that within you to reflect this outside of you in order for the new pathways to come through. So you can call them, a lot of angelic frequencies might be coming through for you. Pay attention to a lot of the signs and synchronicities, but what they're making me feel is that you really need to ground your rear end in. So when we say this, what do they mean by grounding? No one speaks about what these things mean or what these feelings are. And that's part of the teaching that they've asked me to bring here today. Thank you, Chief. And what they're asking me to do is teach you what that is, to be grounded. Being grounded in your emotions, being grounded in your thoughts. It means that your emotions are not going too far one direction or the other. You're able to meet things with an energy of observation rather than an obtrusive nature to reaction, is what's being said. There's a form of emotional retraction. So you're just in the moment of seeing what's going and what's happening. And I don't know what the hell Galilee means. I'm going to have to go back up in prophecy and get my big book out. I need to get a hold of Anna and get a hold of one of those 1816 Bibles here in the next week. But literally, we're talking about Galilee. I got to go back in and I got to research that and I got to see, because that's where the new form begins. Galilee, and that's where the new form begins. Now, they're showing me here, to be honest with you, part of the story of Isaiah, And they're giving me the pretense and part of the energy of Paul here at the same time. And they're connecting here the two. And the part of the energy of Isaiah is talking about the new world and the way that the energies are going to come through. So remember, there is no one to blame. You have all cultivated this and asked for this to happen because you were all put here for this time frame. So when you guys think that your life is in chaos or your life is being dismantled, remember that you asked for this energy to be new, for you to move into the sacred sectors of geometry, okay? So you're moving more into the sacred sectors of geometry within you. A lot of you are recognizing how the energies play upon you. So there's a lot more spiritual intelligence, which has allowed for a lot more deliverance. Okay, deliverance from shame, deliverance from guilt, deliverance from blame, deliverance from feeling anything that you know should not remain. So anytime that you have a lower dimensional thought that vibrates, you automatically know that that's not a place to be in frame, which means don't structuralize it, don't make it become your game, okay, is what they're saying. You've learned that spiritual discernment, right? So a lot of these cycles, so a lot of people talk about timeline shifts, and for me, they're saying hieroglyphs right now. So a lot of you are studying very ancient esoteric healings and teachings and understandings of the energies, okay? Regardless of that, I'm going to get back on channel. And they were talking about also, thank you, how you are now dismantling a lot of the energies that are before you. So a lot of you are being called to your seer moments. So your seer moments could come in through premonition. Now, premonition doesn't always happen while you're sleeping. It's part of the transition. It's part of the transition peaking. Neptune in Aries is not just here to pal drive and deconstruct things in this timeline. Neptune here is opening you up to more of the pathways and all the interstellar energies that are coming to play. A lot of you are receiving coding and you're moving through gateways and pathways. So when we're talking about energy shifts, it's the same vibration as timeline shifts. And what's happening is when you have a new relevance, okay, you have shifted timelines, right? Or you have shifted the energy to no longer be in that frequency that you vibrate at with that mind frame in that timeline. The only reason that time is relevant to you is to give you a time that allows you to make it relevant to your experience here as you experience through this. So time is only relevant to the player that is having an experience, okay, at that point in time. This is how, like, they give you a way to kind of like judge yourself or your growth or how you used to think or how you used to be. Oh, I remember then this and I remember then that. Now, here's the problem with that. The energy in which you're experiencing now will not let you cultivate those things anywhere from the past. So the tendencies of the way that you used to handle situations are no longer going to be able to formulate in this way. Because the ways that you used to handle things are not the ways of the new ways of how you see, how you feel, how you vibrate at. So everything is new and everything is more real. Yeah, and then when they say more real, they're giving me the energy of the vitality here, okay? There could be a lot of air energy, of course, as Mercury sees its way out in the next couple of days. So there could be a lot of communication. There could be a lot of thought process. There could be a lot of connection here and vibration because they're making my third eye kind of like ache. So if a lot of you are in a way that your third eye is opening up to even more pathways, then just take care of your third eye and rebalance that energy. Here, we're going to put some water on that right now. There we go. Clear some of that out. Settle down. Because a lot of you are jumping into Okay, what's that movie? Hold on. This is cute. Oh my God. They're giving me a scene from a movie. What's this? What's this? What's this? I can't remember the movie, but they're giving me this energy where you're like, what's this? What's this? What's that? What's this mean? Okay, and that's making you kind of go crazy. And it's making your third eye overwork, whoever that is that needs to hear that. And it's making it hurt. And they just gave me the hourglass and this sand, right? You're just waiting for time to pass. So you're getting just confusion because of the way that you're peeling apart past things, and things don't make sense to you right now. It's not going to make sense. What they're showing me right now is that you have experiences in the relevance where you are able to see in pretense, but for some reason you're having a hard time correlating what you're seeing versus how it's going to experientially play out. There's the disconnect. So that's where you suffer from doubt. So this is where you have to dive in a little bit deeper and bring up a little bit more belief in that lead that you're taking. The disconnect is because of the way that you're seeing it in spiritual relevance, but the way that the experience here is going to look is going to be different. So when they speak to you on a spiritual level first, just know that the way that you're connected spiritually is not always how it formulates in the physical, but you will have the energy representation that connects you to how you were seeing it in the spiritual. So when you sit there in the unknown, allow the unknown to actually fortify the experience of what's going to be shown. Because then you're able to receive it and not stop the pathway or stop the manifestation that you've asked for to come through in any way. It's not about not expecting, because when you put that energy between you and the divine, you are to expect it in relevance, right? But the way that it is relevant to the physical experience is the detachment between the two, between the etherical and the physical. And you're having to merge that right now. And the only way that you can merge that right now is if you step into the unknown and be okay with coming outside of your comfort zone. So the comfort zone is always having to know what's going on or what pathway to take. And the divine is asking you to internalize these ways and allow the divine feminine, which is part of the feeling, and allow the higher self to come in and connect and just believing. Okay, so sometimes a lot of the ways that things come spiritually, you are not going to be able to understand the physical representation of the pathways. And that's because the difference is relevant to each individual experience. And in that experience is where those energies formulate. The unknown is because it's a part of your blueprint, it's a part of your destiny. But if you were going to know what was going to happen and be shown, then you would probably fuck up the experience because you would stand in the way of the experience. So enjoy the authenticity of the unknown. Enjoy the authenticity of believing in what you're receiving. Enjoy the authenticity of not knowing. Because then you come closer to the divine. And at this time, that is what is relevant to everyone's experience. However the divine connects through them. Whatever their belief system is. Because all will be shown and nothing will be lost. And no, it will not come at a cost. And no, it will not be in vain. But nothing will remain the same. Because the understanding of what is, what was, and what will remain will all intertwine the same. Sitting in the I do not know is the experience in allowing the universe and allowing the divine to fortify the miracle of the manifestation of the breakthrough that you have asked for this time. Because if you don't know, then nobody else knows, and no monitoring spirits or enemies or energies that are trying to work against you are going to be able to fuck up the deliverance of what God has set before you. That is why you do not know. So stop trying to know. Because the divine's redirection in that circumstance is protection. And when you sit in the unknown, you enjoy the moment of the experience, which allows the energy to coherent, to come in existence together. Do not fear what you do not understand or you do not know, because it will be shown. The energies of the enemies have put multiples of you through multiple timelines. It's almost like the levels of Mario. In existence to your experience, for you to make the energy shift, for you to come back online and reconnect with the divine. It was part of the game to derail you and detach you from the divine in which you knew. And this is why it angered you when they propagandized God, Jesus, and what truly happened versus what did not happen. And this is why it angered you, was because it needed to push you away from connecting to the very thing that you are in order for you to deliver your destiny this time by far. So this is why you've had such a hard time at coming back through to the energies of being able to receive the feeling. Because the divine is not a thing, the divine is a feeling. And yes, the divine is omnipresent and in all things and all around us. But when the divine chooses to physically manifest through, you will understand and know the difference inside of you. Many of you have thought yourself to be separate from existence, separate from the interstellar, separate from the planet, separate from I, separate from your mother, separate from your brothers and sisters who walk in nature, and those that are on 4 legs and those that are on 8, and you are no different. You are no separate. You are a part of it as a part of all. And you have heard your call. Come the one and come the all, as your mother's voice stood tall. The divine reflection and the divine in nature is truly the existence of no apprehension, and allowing the process to formulate in the sacred sectors of geometry in which was supposed to be relevant to this worldly plane in existence. What has been will no longer remain. It is true. The energies of the enemies knew exactly what to do. To keep you away from the light that is inside of you, which is inside of the internal pathways and the external pathways of all of you. And now you have seen through. It is time. You come back home. To me, to you, to I, to existence of all that reside. Okay. I had to really make sure the connection was broken, so forgive me, because I just needed to make sure that the connection was really broken, because I didn't break the connection, of course. I just needed to make sure the connection was broken, because I needed to make sure the feeling was gone in my fingertips as that connection just dissipated. So I needed to make sure it was fully gone in relevance. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do a balancing and an integration, and then I'm going to do individualization here for those of you that have asked for individualized things today. Okay? There's a lot of healing and a lot of integration. So let me make sure that I catch this up here real quick to everybody's relevant experience before I do the balancing here for the collective. And whatever activations, and I will work through them, and I will speak to you, and I will tell you exactly what I'm doing, or we're doing, excuse me, the divine is doing through me to you, and you will feel the vibration, and or you will feel it. We will discuss it, okay? Because to each every one of you, it's going to be different of how it feels to you or how it comes through, and I want to make sure that you understand what you're feeling as that vibration comes through you, okay? All right, here we go. Okay. Steph, how are you, man? It's nice to see you too. Charla? Oh, Charla, you're moving. You're integrating. Holy crap. Okay, activation. I got you. All right. You're getting ready to activate too, Steph, and what I mean by this is you're moving on to the next step. So there's a piece for you. All right, Marina. Whoo. All right, here we go. You just want to know. I got you. You want confirmation on something. I heard you. There's a confirmation that's going to come through, a word or vibration. All right, and I'm just making sure that I'm taking notes as I'm hearing here. Ida. All right, Miss Ida, I've got you here. There's confirmation and healing coming through for you. Your belly's kind of been tense and stressed in relevance to your next experience. So there's some anxiety there that we're going to work through too. Okay, give me a minute. We need to do this for the collective. Here is this energy ensues and pursues. So we're going to do what is asked of me to do, and we're going to formulate this and balance in your experience. Now, a lot of you are rechanging and reformulating a mindset. So we're going to go through here in the vibration, and I will speak what they're showing me, what we're going to do for the collective, and then I'll break down into individualization here for each and every one of you that has asked. All right. Cultivation. Cultivation. Okay. Harmonization. New lines. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's a lot of sacral energy that's running through. So they're giving me sacral to solar, and so giving me cultivation, right? So there's these building blocks, and they're like Legos, right? And you're stacking Legos on top of each other, and they're telling me that this is a lot of the creation station. So a lot of the creativity energy is going to start and come in over the next week. So they want me to balance that in, because you might be in different ways, like I could do this, I could do that. So what this is this is a pretense to the energy in the next sequence of events that is going to allow your experience to actually be fully cultivated. Once that sacral energy moved, it moved into my solar plexus. So this is about having the stamination, okay, the stamination to continue in that pathway, because many of you are gosh darn tired. And when we're talking about tired, we're talking on something that can hardly be spoken, because it's some type of internalization of an energy, of a vibration that is running through your body. And when you start to cultivate in your purpose, you don't have time to be tired. And that's why the divine transpires and you're not tired anymore, is because the energy is coming through you of the divine to not allow you to be tired. So they're talking about the courage in the solar plexus right now. Okay, so we've gone from the sacred to the solar plexus. And then it's not so much of the heart's embrace, although it feels a little weary here in some of your in some of your activations, right? Some of you feel a little weary there. And that's because of the opening, the flower, the lotus is opening up to a lot of the new energies that you're able to receive. Okay. Maybe you're receiving Yeshua in a way that you didn't think was possible for you. Maybe you're receiving divine healing energies from the archangels that are coming through that you didn't think that you were connecting to. It's a lot of like weariness that's coming through of how things are going to happen for you. So they're giving me that experience too. Now, here in the throat, what they're showing me is that the throat is having a very hard time, okay, working through what it's being shown in the mind or the messages that are coming through and feeling that energy, but having a hard time connecting what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling into something spoken. Right? So remember, the throat is a part of our creativity, because how that comes out, whether it be through music or whether it be through drawing or whether it be through whatever creative endeavor here, that throat chakra is, yes, a parting of you having to understand what you're doing and how you're going to speak it through. So you remember, you were given the authority to speak things over your life, right? So you're learning how to speak, okay, what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling over your life. So they're giving me a little bit of a block here in the throat. Now, we already talked about the third eye earlier, is what they're telling me right now. But the crown, there's a wobble to the crown. And the reason that there's a wobble to the crown is they're talking to me about sound right now. And the sound that's coming through is a sound that is a new vibration to you. So there's a new wobble in your experience of the crown. So we're going to set the tone. Now, I am not going to ground you because you're already grounded, okay? We've already done that. We are going to work through the sacral all the way up through, all right? So if you would like to jump in, all right, and accept these energies to receive, all I need you to do is stay present in the moment with me. As I walk you through these energies, we work one by one. We rebalance, we coexist these things, and we merge them here. This will make it pretty clear, because some of you have a hard time hearing right now. Now, what I mean by that is that you're hearing, but it's like one word, and then there's a breakage in the frequency, and then there's another word, and then there's a breakage in the frequency. This is because you're tuning into a new frequency, exactly like the radio here of receiving. All right, so let me get into this space. It's going to be quick. It's not going to be longer than 5 minutes, because when I run through these things quickly, it just comes through. Boom, boom, boom. Now, what you can expect after this, some of you may be hungry. Some of you may need to go to the bathroom. Some of you may be actually just completely euphoric. Some of you may be tired, okay? And this is because of the energy that's running through you. So those are some things. Now, when you feel these things, I will walk through and tell you things that you could be feeling. You could be feeling rubbery sensations. You could be feeling hot, cold vibrations. You could be feeling tingle sensations. You could also feel like water is coming over your body, okay? We are going to work the elements of the meridians and the chakras to represent the outside auric field here. And when we come into existence together, we will all be in alignment for what is coming for the new. Whatever that transpires outside of you, I don't know how that's going to transpire in your existence, but what I do know is that we are opening up these pathways. We are balancing these pathways for you to be able to receive what it is that you need to receive to move through over this next week as these convergence in the planet energies and alignments take place for you. I ask you this time that you guys take 3 deep breaths all the way down to your pelvic. When you breathe in, you are going to breathe in the love and the light from the divine. You are going to exhale all stale, stagnant, old energy. You are going to feel that energy be pushed out all the way from your pelvis, all the way through your sacral, all the way through your solar, all the way up through your heart, through your throat, through your crown, and all the way then back down to the tritosphere for those energies to come around. All right. So you're going to push all of that out that deeply in that sequence. All right, the divine told me at this time that you were open to receive. All right. Now, what am I doing right now? I am working on the sacral at this moment. So the sacral energy is going to be open. Some of you have bloating coming on. Some of you are in your menstruating cycle. And some of you are cramping right now. And we're going to relieve some of that space there. Others of you right now, you're in the end where you have just begun a whole new cycle. Okay, and we are going to actually help with these energies, balance these out here. This is going to allow a lot of the creative endeavors. A lot of you need a divine feminine spiritual bath here too. All right, so if any of you would like to reach out, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I can give you a correlation. Maybe I'll just write a blog here, and we'll just do a spiritual sacred bath here, because some of you need that sacred bath in the divine feminine energy. Some of you have guilt and shame in the sacral that I am removing right now, because you know nothing will remain the same. And that mother wound is actually creating guilt, because you're like, I don't want to leave family, but yet the family that you perceive is not the family that you're about to receive. So we're going to remove some of that. There we go. Now we're going to move into the balancing of the solar plexus. Now your belly's going to open up. Some of you may burp. Some of you may feel like you're hungry. All right. And some of you may feel like planting your feet in the dirt. That's perfectly fine too, as we work through this space. Warmth. Thank you. Some of you feel warmth right now in the belly. And we're just opening up this embrace here. This is going to help you not question the courage and the stamination to move through what you are going to create, okay, or what you're going to do. You don't have time to be tired. You're not going to be tired, okay? Call on the energies here to help you transpire. So whatever, if you're feeling like you're low, or if you're not going to have time or energy or whatever, those are old patterns of behaviors, okay? So we're going to remove those thought processes here. And back to balance. Thank you. You're going to feel an opening and a widening in the heart. This is because we're opening the back door of the vortex. Some of you only use the front side of your chakra system. There's a front side, there's a back side. They intertwine. So we're actually opening up the back side here to allow the energy to fluidly flow through that. All right, so some of you just don't even know that. So we're going to open that up. Thank you. Warmth. Some of you feel cold. And we're going to use a little bit of air. Thank you. Some of you are sneaky as shit. You don't have to manipulate the energy so hard. Some of you are taking it on too much in your heart space to try to manipulate the energy. You're working too hard. So you can't use old patterns and old behaviors to manipulate the energy anymore. Hate to tell you that. Not gonna work. Some of you had that back door. Like you had, like, you know what we call that? In my way, we call that where you've got a prerequisite here for a resentment buildup. You got an ace up your sleeve. That's not going to work with the divine this time. So not going to be able to manipulate energies here. There we go. Open. Thank you. Now we're moving into the throat here. Now we need to connect the throat through to the crown and the third eye. So first of all, we're going to open the throat. We're going to balance the throat. You are going to be provoked. This is going to be provoking you to speak more authentically about your experience, or to your experience, or things that are relevant here to you. And now we're going to use a little bit of water. Thank you. The balancing, yeah. So you're not going to be overactive. You're not going to be underactive. You're not going to be saying too much. You're not going to not be communicating enough. It's a very balanced energy here that's coming in of the throat, because we're making it very clear for you to be able to not be provoked by the thought process where you choke and where you demise and compromise your own energy here, okay? Thank you. And now we're moving to the crown and the third eye. So we're just going to go boop, boop. All right. So here we go. Some of you need to come back down and ground with me. Take a nice deep breath. Some of you need to come back down and ground with me. Take a nice deep breath. Blow it all the way out from your sacral. Okay. Breathe out all stale, stagnant energy. And now we're back up into the eye. And now I am going to work with some amethyst, and I am going to work with some very sacred water here. Some of you have been in distress. Some of you have been in confusion. Some of you have been in delusion. And we are peeling that off right now and not allow them to deceive themselves. And no, there will not be energies of the enemies that will be allowed to deceive them as well, in the name of Jesus. Thank you. And now, crown. Beautiful. There it is, all the way back down. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Pollinator. All right. Here we go. All right. If any of you would like to join my Egyptian ancient healing magic and Reiki class, reach out to me. I am in the middle of one class now, but I am starting to think that I may do this individually as well. And you will be certified, authentic Reiki Egyptian master healer. And the way that I teach it is through the pollinator and the instructions. A lot of people that teach Reiki, they do not teach you about what it is, where it comes from, how to use it, how to feel it, how to receive it through your body. They do not teach you about the iniquities of the responsibilities, or where it comes from, the esoteric realities of what the sacred nature is, what you are doing and how you are doing it. They do not teach you that at all. And in my experience, there are 5 classes, and you will be fully authentic, attuned, and certified. And no, the certifications don't come from with me. They do, but they don't. If that makes any sense, this is not a joke. You can come and actually really understand and learn the real deepening of the ways of the energies to do these things for yourself and others too. Okay? A lot of people charge over thousands and thousands of dollars to teach this. And let me tell you, the deepening of the experience of where I'm taking my people to, which is the Divine's people, is understanding the ancient magic and the ability that they have to deliver people from these energies in multiples of different ways. Okay, it is nowhere near $1,000. It is maybe not even a fourth of that. I don't even know how to do the math in that, but it's $333, and you split that up into different payments. The certifications are designed from myself and from the Divine, but they are certified and sealed and authentic. It's not something that you print off and it is a paper experience. It comes signed, sealed, and delivered to you. Okay, and so when that comes about, that is because the energies of the Divine is putting you in that pathway and entrusting you to actually heal in the divine ways of Christ consciousness and the Egyptian esoteric magics that have always been relevant to your experience. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm going to clear it. So I'm going to work on this, D. We're going to clear this. A lot of this is here. A lot of this is here. Okay, and it's in your inner ear as well. So there may be an inner ear infection that might be coming up. They're reminding me to tell you about onion water as well. Okay, but we're going to clear this out. Some of that throat would have helped, but I really want to work on the sinus area and the equilibrium area here too. All right, so... Oh, you're being tested like crazy right now, too. All right. I'm being told it's going to be a lot peaceful and a lot more calmer of an experience than you think. And we're going to work through this space here right now because there's a lot of heavy energy on your crown, and we're going to relieve that as well. And that's part of the illness, but this is an integration as well. And then you are already feeling all of this, and we're going to take some of this off. There we go. Okay. I'm working right now on removing what could end up, if we didn't take care of it, as an inner ear infection. Ears are plugged too, sensitive to light and sound, and we are... There we go. Drainage. Yeah. Strain. D, there's a wolf standing next to you. This is new. Obviously, it's an energy of a new guide that's been presented to you, but this is because of a new pathway. They're showing me the moon card. They're showing me the moon card with the wolf, with you and a wolf standing next to you. So you're going to be on a new joyous excursion. There's going to be learning as you go. This is something you don't necessarily know that you're being moved into. Neptune is playing on you really hard right now too. There's a ball of energy that's sitting in between your third eye here, and it's blocking something, and I'm going to remove that as well. And I feel like that's a block that's been put in front of you because of energy that has moved towards you in that way. So we're going to remove that block because it can't stay, because it's trying to cause you confusion or irritation. There we go. Clear. There's new, okay, so there's new sages. So you've gone to the underworld recently and you've reread some pages. You've gone to the underworld recently and you've reread some pages. You've learned some more from different sages. So this is where there's a new pathway that is being forged for you. Also, this energy knew, so then this energy has come in to deceive you or block you in what it is that you're trying to do. It was just out of nowhere. It just, boom, showed up out of nowhere. And they're giving me like a walnut seed that's right in the middle of your third eye. This walnut seed is what's blocked you from being able to receive what it is that you need to receive in the next week or two, because there's been some confusing energies with things that you've heard or things that you've seen in synchronicity for you. So part of this energy was an amp up. It's something in a pretense that knew. So we're removing that now. Pay more attention to what you see rather than what you hear. Pay more attention to what you see rather than what you hear. The seeing is going to be very clear. The hearing is going to be knocked off balance because of other energies that are connected to different enemies that are in your space at this time. So make sure that you cast out of your mind is what was just said. Thank you. All right. There. That heaviness is gone now. Pay attention to sounds. What I mean by that is what they're giving me is you're going to hear a sound of a siren, but yet the siren's not going to be there. You're going to hear this mimic sound, but yet that sound's not going to be there. Okay? That's when you know it's time to ground. You're going to have an experience in the next 4 days that's going to be very spiritually profound. And I just heard your inner child say, bejesus, like it can't believe it. Like, holy bejesus. Like, your little kid, your inner child just said bejesus to me. Okay. All right. I gotta put my puzzle piece in so I don't get in trouble. Hold on. I gotta try again. I guess I can't put technology puzzle pieces together. There's something that is very relevant to your experience as also you're going to see 3 dragonflies in the next 4 days. Don't try to compromise either. There's no compromising here. So don't try to compromise. Just stay clear. The most important thing for you to do is stay clear because the timing is near and you know that the energies always try to come in last minute to steer you in a different direction. Okay? All right, Steph. Who your ancestors are on it. Heavy attunement, yeah. Okay, Steph, right now they keep showing me Hawaii. I don't know if you're going Hawaii, but I'm not sure, but they keep showing me Caribbean islands here. And they're showing me here that this is someplace that is near for you. So I have a feeling that you actually are going to be going to really a place that connects to you in that space. Your ancestors are calling you. And they're giving me the conch shell and they're blowing the conch shell. So you've heard the call. You just don't know what it means for you or what it looks like for you. They're showing me there's 3 different ways that your pathways are splitting. So what this means to me is that you're in this pretense of here, but you've got this pathway and this pathway. These choices are coming and you've heard this before, right? But the only reason that the choices are at your door is because you've asked for these that are relevant to your experience of what you want or what you need. Talking about job security. So I don't know what's going on with job security, but they're showing me the Queen of Pentacles. So this is giving me that you don't need to worry. There's going to be job security for you. Meaning, even if you get moved or the job that you're at is no longer available to you, you are going to be moved into a place that is bringing you more security and more stability and more vibration that's new. They're preparing your body, dude. They have been preparing your body, and you keep hearing this. Preparation. They're preparing your body. There's been times when you felt like you were pregnant, but you weren't, right? There's been times when you felt like you were pregnant, but you weren't. This is because of the new energy birthing inside of you, the new seed, right? But they're showing me that this is something that you've been asking for to receive. It's not the right timing because your body's in distress right now. It's under stress. It's under stress because of your requests. Because you've wanted more, you've asked for more, and now you're stepping into more. The deliverance of your gifts, right? You've been asked for the deliverance of your gifts, meaning this. You've asked for more of your abilities to come into contact with you for you to be able to receive. There's been a lot of reference here to Santa Muerte, okay? The Divine Mother, and her showing up in all of her forms to you, which could look like Laudris, which means she appeared, okay, in that place. They call it Mother of Laudris, and that's because the Divine Mother shows up there, the Divine Mother shows up there, the Divine Mother shows up there, right? Fatima, Our Lady Fatima, same as the Divine Mother there. So they're showing me that the Divine Mother's energy is really stepping foot into your belief system, right? Your culture. There is a community. You're craving a community, right? You're craving a community of healing. You're creating and craving a community of receiving. And you're creating a community of balanced energies here. Now, when I say community, I mean this is happening within your vault first, okay? There's a lot of beauty that is actually coming through, but you don't feel that way yet. Venus is in retrograde and it's messing with you. It comes out on the 12th. This is imperative that you know that there's going to be some type of new love shown, okay? You're going to fall in love with something new. I feel like they're giving me, this is cute, they're giving me, should I, okay, they're giving me the Lover's card, which is all about commitment. So there's some type of new commitment that you are going to commit yourself to. I can't tell you exactly what that commitment is. That's what they wanted me to not speak, so I'm making sure I don't speak. But there is a new lover's commitment coming for you. When this is a marriage between two energies, it could be a spiritual commitment. It could be a commitment of where you're committing to motherhood. It could be a commitment where you are now committing to your spiritual path, right? You're stepping into your passion, your purpose, right? And so this is where you've earned that seat, is what they're telling me. So you're only going to know what that experience is for you come the end of April as it moves through. But this is part of the energy that is amping up inside of you. There's been this request for more. Going backwards, sorry, not forwards. So you want to travel more, you want to connect more, you want to work more spiritually. So they're talking about you getting back into devotion, right? They're showing me a wreath on top of your head here. And they're showing me that you're really devoting yourself to your spirituality, your essence, your time, okay? They said breakthrough. So this does mean that there is a breakthrough coming through for you. The breakthrough could be literally in multiples of ways. Could be a spiritual breakthrough. Could be a new ability that's being received by you. Could be a new move, okay? Could be a new baby in the family as well. So there's just different breakthroughs, but it's something that's going to deliver the burdens off of you and the energies of what you have been going through, okay? All right. I've got you, Jen. It was a pleasure and an honor to sit with you yesterday, Jen. It truly was. It truly, truly was. All right, Miss Shar. Okay. Okay. All right. It makes sense. I'll work through that hindsight. Thank you. Okay. All right. There's a lot of movement around you right now, Shar, and what I mean by that is there's a lot of energy that is moving around you, and you're balancing this new job. Things are going well there. You're balancing this new spirituality in the air. There's a new energy that is connecting to you, and I'm going to bring this through you because it's been hard because your egos try to push it away, okay? Now, when you're using your healing and you're using your healing vibration, okay, the way that you see things and feel things and tap into things is not necessarily the way that it was taught to you. What I mean by that is, yes, there's symbolization and stuff, but you're looking for something deeper, right? You're looking for that deeper connection, that deeper feeling, because you're like, oh, well, I kind of really just don't even do Reiki anymore. And it's because of what they have taught you it is versus how you feel the vibration it is. So your brain is trying to disconnect you from the disorder of what was taught to you, but yet receive this new energy and this new way of this deepening layer here. And it's not necessarily about the ways that the symbolization was taught to you. It's about the pathways and you opening up the pathways within your energy for that energy to come through you, so you're not using your own energy. Okay, the symbolization, it's beautiful symbolization, but you're looking for more, you're wanting to for more, and this is where there's more divine light codes in activation. So it's a deepening layer of energy work. You could call it more quantum if you wanted to, because it's more at a 0 point. Because when you get into a state of nothingness, of course, that's where everything exists, and you are tapping into and trying to feel the vibration deepening inside you of lowering underneath the sound wave vibration of frequency. So you're deepening lower underneath the sound and the waves. You're getting to beneath the atoms. So this is where the radiation waves. So you are actually trying to deepen your connection below the atoms, below the radiation waves, below the color, frequency, and vibration of sound waves. Okay? And you are getting into that state of nothingness. All right? Because sometimes in Reiki, they make you feel like you have to do certain things. And so, although that is a great place to start for you, you're craving more because you're in this elevation for more. Okay? There is a blue avion that is connecting to you and through you to work with you through this vibration of mindset. It's really cute too. And it's got this cute little beak and this little feather thing, you know. And some of them I don't see like that, but this one is really cute and does have that. And some of them don't have that. For me, when they come through, it just depends on your soul family. But this is a piece of you that you are integrating into yourself, okay? So there could be a lot of messages. They're showing me a downpour of coding and a downpour of messages that you've been receiving. So there's been a lot of messages that you are receiving. And remember, the blue avions were part of the original messengers here. So they were the ones that would message between the divine and earthly time and all that type of stuff. So you're coming back online in this integration, which is a part of this here too. Osmosis. Yeah, you're working in the energy of osmosis right now. Interesting. So there's a lot of coding, and it looks like mathematics, and it literally looks like Einstein's in front of the board in me, and there's a lot of mathematics, and there's a lot of coding going on right now. All right? And we're just going to slowly drop this down and integrate this into you, because it's a part of your experience with you and how you heal with the divine, okay, in this time, and how you allow that energy to come through you. Thank you. And there's a difference in your eyes. So your right eye is actually more dialed in. So if you close your eyes and you start to formulate seeing, it's as if this left eye over here is lagging. This right eye is at a higher frequency of experience. So when you're seeing, this is part of what they're actually trying to narrow in osmosis in your experiences, where both are seeing the same and detailed experience. They're almost giving me the relevance here of the Eye of Horus. And for any of you that know the deepening story of the Eye of Horus, Seth is one that made Horus lose his eye, and Horus lost his eye because Seth was able to get into his mind, and hear the thoughts of the telepathy of the mind that Seth was using against him in relevance to knock him off his mantle and basically took his eye out. And that is why the Eye of Horus only has one eye, is when the battle for Egypt, because Seth wanted North and South Egypt, okay? Seth ruled south with Nefertiti, and Isis and Osiris ruled north. And so therefore, when all of that stuff took place, Seth and Horus went at it after Isis gave birth to Horus, and Horus came back to help Isis reclaim all of Egypt. And in that very first existence of argument and fight, Seth lost his eye. So the Eye of Horus may be relevant to you right now, Shar, in the experience in where your eyes are seeing more detailed layers on a cellular level of osmosis, being able to see through multiple layers and receive multiple different timelines of messages pertinent to one's experience, not lowering your vibration, but telling me and showing me that you're able to give messages to a certain person in a certain time that is relevant to their experience, but you're not lowering your energy this time. Yeah, there was a balancing of the mind that needed to take place because it's just been so overactive, and it's not anything that's negative. It's just overactive right now with all the energies of the collective, and the conversion is what's being said to me. Okay. All right, Marina, here we go. I've got Marina, Ida, Christina, and Jennifer. All right, so Marina, here we go, dear. I see. Okay. So you are connected to the sirens. The sirens are very connected to the oceans, to the mermaids in that experience. So you have a very deepening connection to ocean water here that is relevant to your experience. So you may be asked to go to beaches or go to rivers. You're working also with the healing energy of the water, right? Here's the cool thing. Man has the H and the O, but the divine is the only one that holds the two to make water. So water is becoming very, very spiritual to you, very connected to you. It is the divine encoding here that is, you're encoding water. Okay? A lot of shamans that work with the lands and work with the energies of the lands. They heal the waters, they heal the waterways, they heal the pathways. They understand the sacredicity of the lands and the waters. And so you are connecting back to a very root state of energy here. And you may not have native pathways, but that doesn't matter because there are many shamans of many ways, and many shamans of many ways are being called to the forefront to work with Mother Gaia and her pathways. So you are working with the energies of the rivers. You are working with the energies of the oceans. You may be feeling like you need to give offerings or devotion to the water. This is also heightening your senses. Anything that water, okay, so water is malleable. Water will ruin stuff, but water can also give life at the same time. And anything that you put water in, it will mold into that shape, okay? And then it can change, and then it can permeate, and it can become a solid and a cold. You're learning, this is the metaphor, that you are learning to move in the universal energies. You're knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, knowing when to protect your energy, knowing when you should not go there, knowing when to be defensive, all of that. You are becoming like water. And once you learn the weight of carrying your own water, you will not waste one single drop, is what was said to me. So you are really coming out of what we call the trial, the tribulation state. Okay, so it has been trial after trial, tribulation after tribulation. And now you are connecting more to the earth's vibration. the sacred divinity within you that has always been something that you knew, but you were never able to experience it through you. And now it is relevant to you. And they're saying, WWJ, what would Jesus do? So this is a past part of you where you were in where your religious pathways, okay, and you were dismantled in those pathways because of the religious identity that was personified and pushed on you, and you led astray. Now you're coming back to the universal pathways, the pathways of the divine. Water is very sacred at this time to you. You may even think about blessing your own water. You may think about also working with water where you are making moon water and then drinking that in your experience. So there's a very sacred connection here that you are working with water. Now, part of this is because you're learning your emotional intelligence. Thank you so much. When you are working with your emotional intelligence, it is the precursor to your spiritual intelligence, your spiritual discernment, and your abilities. Because once you clear the pathways of the emotions that were placed upon you, remember, what was done to you, you've had to undo and then redo. Because what was done to you, you then consumed, allowed to become a part of you, a piece of you, a spiritual identity, or a layer that you've had to undo and then redo in the new way. And so therefore you are relearning these pathways. And what was done to you, you have undone, and now you are redoing. You need sun. They said, come to the sun. Now you can take that in a few different ways. Ra, the physical representation of atom, okay, which was the vibration of the osmosis that took place and the permeation in the firmament when those meeting of the pathways took place. Ra then sneezed and gave birth to air and water, and air, water, and fire then created earth. So now what this is showing me, Marina, is that you are connecting the elemental energies within your vibration, okay, of air, fire, water, and earth, which is part of the medicine wheel, okay? Now that medicine wheel is real. You're always turning the wheel. Okay, you're always working with the nature. You are working in season now. You are working with the more natural elements of your own pathways that is relevant to you in your experience of understanding the divine for yourself. How you feel the divine. Okay, and so this is beautiful because you were so tormented. You were so pulled apart. I got to speak this experience last night to my partner, and I just want to share this with you because I feel like it's a part of you too, Marina, and they're asking me, when they ask me to share stories about my experience, it's because it's relevant to one other's experience for confirmation. So remember, the way that these stories were told were always told in stories so that we could remember them, and the stories have been lost. Okay, and so now we are reclaiming and remembering the stories so that they're never going to be lost again. Okay, so the relevant of the experience here is this. When I was growing up, I didn't want to play with dolls. I didn't like dolls. I couldn't fucking stand dolls. I couldn't stand it because I could see the spirits that would invoke into those dolls. The dolls always had spirit to me, and there were some that I didn't like, and there were ones that moved, and I didn't like dolls at all, and because I didn't like dolls, my entire family called me a boy because I didn't like dolls. They didn't understand why I didn't like dolls. They didn't understand that I could see spirits and that I could see and feel and hear, and that those dolls would become real at nighttime. Okay, they had no understanding of that. So understanding that you've been through a same place in time where there was some type of spiritual identity within you that was compromised in one form of another, okay, that you are connecting back to the divine in the way that the divine feels relevant to you in your experience. So you're having to remember what the divine feels like and what it is like to be in obedience. The divine is calling you to be in obedience, and what this means is that it is relevant to your experience of how the divine is choosing to work through you. So this is big for you because these are a lot of new activations. I feel like you are newly awakened. Okay, I mean no disrespect by that. I feel the energy of this rawness and this newborn star inside of you. What I mean by newly awakened is that you probably went through your awakening in 2017 or 2020, relevant to your experience, where your interstellar energy started to merge with the human experience here online. Okay, and you are very cosmic and you are very intertwined to the cosmos and the divine as well. So this is where you also are actually now integrating with the divine, with Christ consciousness in full representation. Okay, and you've had to get out of your mind and you've had to get out of the turmoil of the disdain that was left with the oil that was put in your veins when you speak Jesus's name. Oh shit. That hit home for me too, because I remember when I was forced to take communion and they were like, oh, the body of Christ and the blood, and I was like, you got me fucked up. I'm not drinking that cup. I don't give a fuck what's in the cup. You're giving me are you kidding me? Like, do you not understand? So it's that was placed upon you where you feel like your blood and your veins were poisoned because of the significance of what was being represented in relevance to that time. Holy shit, lady. I understand in relevance. All right. The sacred oil. So it's very relevant to you in your experience. So I just wanted you to know that there's a lot of us that understand you, but in that deepening of that layer of what was taken from you, what was compromised was your understanding of the divine, and now it's been rewritten. Okay, it's a part of the blueprint that you came here to do and receive and be. It's a contract with the divine, okay, assignment. So of course you know that you're on assignment, and they want me to repeat something to you that has come through me in a few different times. All right. And it's always heavy when I get to say it, but it's beautiful when I get to say it. It's very humbling when I get to say it. Okay, bodies in alignment, no longer on consignment. All right, so bodies in alignment, no longer on consignment. All right, Miss Ida, thank you for your patience. I greatly appreciate you. Ida, Christina, and Miss Jennifer, thank you for your patience too, as the divine does what it needs to do today. And right now, Miss Ida, I'm hearing justice right now. Justice. They're showing me the scales being balanced in justice in multiple ways. So I really feel like, okay, they're saying you've been feverish in your ways, which means you've been trying to accomplish things. You've been trying to figure things out. You've been very feverish in your ways, okay? Aloha, kekua. And so you, hoka, and you are literally in a way where you have been feverish in your ways to figuring things out in these pathways. Justice is right around the corner. And it has been a strengthening within you. So your testimony and your experience, it's something that I see you writing through. So the testimony and your experience is something that you've been writing through. So you're a journaler, you're a scribe, you write too. Okay, and so these things are activating and realigning back inside of you. Justice for the experience in which caused you distress. I don't know how that's going to come out, but somebody is in repentance, okay, or regret right now. I don't know if that's you. I don't just know that it's relevant into the experience and what's being spoken through. So there is justice that is being received by you in multiple ways. Okay, and it's not like, yeah, justice. It's almost kind of bittersweet here is what they're giving me, right? Because okay. There is a soul that is connected to you when we're speaking about this that you are receiving justice for, that has been condemned to eternal damnation because they would not rise, and whatever they did to you, their soul was compromised. Praise Jesus. Thank you. Yes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Moving forward now. Sorry, I got compromised by the energy of what I was feeling in the heaviness, so I apologize. I needed to be redirected quickly. So this is a command. So I just want you to know that this is something that has been commanded on your behalf. You have nothing to do with this. You know this is whatever it is, it's out of your hands. They said victory, and it's time for you to take a stand. Band. So there is a banding together of energies around you. You could call these interstellar, you could call these angelic frequencies, it doesn't matter. But there is a band of energies around you right now, all right, that are formulating your pathways and your new growth cycle, is what they're saying. If there's anything that you are worried about, anything that you are in doubt about, I want to deliver you from that now, because miracle after miracle comes your way, and your angels are saying that whatever was present in the past no longer can last, and they're saying divine miracles upon divine miracles are in your pathways for you. You have delivered yourself as well as your angels from this cycle, and they had me draw a circle with this energy of this portal, of this energy being lifted up. And that's also part of the judgment card here too. Okay, what has been put to death inside of you is what was just said. So what has been put to death inside of you? Thank you so much, Soup. How are you, baby? So there has been a lot that has been put to death inside of you, and what may have seemed for things to come at a cost, it was not all that you had lost, right? So you're seeing how things were not in vain. You're seeing how you actually remained. You're actually seeing how there was not a lot that you actually lost in pretenses of what you could have lost. And you're being very thankful for that. And they said strongholds, so there's a lot of energy that is coming off of you that has had strongholds, and they're saying breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. So there have been 4 breakthroughs that you have actually had during this Mercury retrograde. I hear you. I know it's sad, but those energies did not listen to the divine ordinance in which they did not choose to submit, okay? And they did not come into submission for coming against you and doing those things to you. Period. End of story. I know it's sad, but this is why you can't fuck with God's people, okay? And not everybody is equal. And you've had to learn that the frequency within you is not the same as everyone that you wish it to be or want it to be in this reality. Yes, I'm being asked to pray for you, so I'm going to put you on my prayer list. At this time, if there's anybody that does need prayers, please reach out to me in email. My email is listed through Linktree. You can reach out to me through the website. For those of you that do not know, I am probably in prayer for the collective and for people probably about 3 to 4 hours a day. So I am being asked, Ida, to pray for you and to help you in these new pathways, and pray that the divine is able to prepare you for what you need at this time, because you're being prepared. You're being prepared, and you've known this, and this energy has been in the air, but I've been asked to pray for you as you make these transitions upon your request. Okay. Christina and Jennifer. All right, Christina. Christina, your heart is torn. Your heart is torn. It has been since the day you were born. You could always feel something was more. There's conflicting energies inside of your heart space at this time. Trying to unwind timelines. So you're trying to unwind frequencies in which you used to experience, or you used to be like, or you used to do. So you're unwinding these timelines right now, the unraveling, right? And you're at this last little bit of a squeeze of this unraveling, and they're asking you to believe, 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 believe. Don't sit in faith, don't sit in hope. And it's not knowing, because when you know, it's, yes, you're psychic and you know, but it's the believing in what it is that you're perceiving and receiving, right, that leads you to the knowing. The knowing is the outcome of where you're going. And right now they're asking you to sit in belief as you reprieve and move through this healing energy of the divine union of the three. Now, when they give me the three, I want you to know that it's the triangle, right? It's the formulation of the foundation and the stability of the divine cultivation of the energy. So they're also giving me, of course, when the human self merges with the higher self, it merges with the divine self, which is all of its existence in different dimensions, different planetary galaxies, okay, and interstellar energies. So you are coming and formulating with this right now as we speak. All right. There is a new peak. So I feel like they're showing me like you're kind of like a mountain goat right now, where you're holding on to this mountain because you just don't know which way to go. Forward and up. Forward and up. It's almost like I had my direction in order and I knew where I was going, and then boom, this energy came in and gave me upon a divine reflection, and upon that divine reflection is where I had questioning about my direction. Okay. Come back inside and go back to what was showing you originally in that time. It's not negative. That thing that's not having you reevaluate is not deconstructing of the ways, but I feel like it's a merger of the two, where you're taking something and putting it into this energy here that's formulating and cultivating through. I'm going to try to speak that more in the human space. So you had an experience. You knew where you were headed. You knew where you were going. This experience then knocked you into an imbalance to where you didn't know if you were supposed to continue on this pathway or now go this pathway. Everything's in divine ordinance and in accordance to your blueprint that is relevant to you. This new pathway is unknowing to your human self, but your higher self knows. They're telling me that you're actually bringing some things with this direct pathway over to this, but it's going to be this experience that you choose to merge with. So, yes, you had a notion of where you were going in direction. They're saying divine favor is a part of your reflection. So, what you thought you were going to do, or what you thought you knew your direction was, there's pieces and parts of it. There are 1, 2, 3 pieces and parts of it that will go with you, but you're going to move in this direction, which is a diagonal. Okay? This is going to come for you this week. So just know that as that direction comes in and you receive this new reflection of this direction, that's the direction that you're going to be heading in. A mother wound. You sealed through a mother wound, and you broke through three generational curses too, with this Venus in retrograde and this Mercury cycle too. There's a lot of sexual energy around you, okay? Which is beautiful because it's the divine feminine Kundalini rising, so there's a lot of sexual energy, okay? Spirit said like beautifying yourself, which means to me that you're spending more time with yourself. You're taking more care of yourself in multiple different ways, right? You want to do things for yourself in different ways, okay? energy healing. You're realizing the more that you learn, the more that you pour into yourself, the more that you financially pour into yourself, the more that you actually receive and can take a reprieve. So you're learning how to really fall into that divine feminine energy as well for you. Now, give me a minute, because they're asking me to work with you right now through this heart space, because there is something that's trying to integrate up and through between the solar plexus and the heart. And it's more of this burning sensation. I don't want to call it heavy, because it's not how it feels. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels like you're getting ready. It feels like anticipation, right? Of an opening to the vitality within you. So we're just gonna, it's got a little bit of a wobble to it in the energy that I'm seeing. So I'm just working on balancing that out a little bit. It's kind of got an overpowering of the fire energy, which makes sense because of Mercury, Mars, Sun. All of that is coming into existence here over the next week. There's some really big, nice planetary shifts, okay, that are actually happening for you, okay? You know how that we always talk about, Christina, this is pertinent to you. You know how we always talk about divine timing. Well, that divine timing is coming into accordance with alignment for you at the end of this week. So there's this energy that's coming through, and then that physical is going to be reciprocated to you as this energetically is moving through you at the end of this week. Now, they said financial breakthrough, so there is a financial breakthrough, and like we talk about, this can come in the form of a gift. It can come in the form of you getting a bonus. It can come in the form of you getting a new job. It can come in the form of you getting noticed. It can come in many different forms, okay? And so the financial blessing, okay, is part of the breakthrough that they're giving me. Something's going to be big news, and something is bringing you news. So something's going to be big news for you, and something is bringing you news. All right. Miss Jennifer, here we go, dear. Thank you for being here. All right. Ooh, baby. You're off to the races today. You're becoming way more clear in new pathways. There was a lot of dreaming last night. There was a lot of receiving last night for you. You're really starting, you're believing now. You're believing now. You're not hoping and you're not moping. You're really believing now. You're really open to receiving now too. You have way more of a direction. I'm going to read something to you that I'm being asked to read to you, Jennifer, that is just, it's for everyone, but it's very specific to you at this point in time. Miracle after miracle comes my way. Miracle after miracle follows me every day. My miracles come to me in the most wonderful ways. They're showing me this energy of, okay. So it's almost as if like you are walking through what looks like a nature fairy tale to me. There's greenery, there's beauty, there's trees everywhere, there's ivy, there's vines that are growing off the rocks, but there's waterfalls, okay? And it's a very magical place. And this place is something of warmth and embrace. I feel like it's almost like a conservatory where they have like butterflies and birds, and 2 ducks just flew by. Duck, duck, which means goose, which means you're about to go, right? Because there's 2 ducks, and every time that I see 2 ducks, most of the time I just saw 2. So I'm telling you, you're about to get goosed, which means you're about to get a surprise. So duck, duck, goose is what would come out. But I have to take that in relevance to your experience, but this is like a conservatory. This is someplace that you go. This is someplace that you're going to receive messages. There's like different types of birds, and there's butterflies, and it's a sanctuary. It's almost like a sanctuary is what they're showing me. And there's trees, and there's water, and there's vines, and you know the koi fish, and there's ponds, and there's koi fish, and it's just like a form of creation that you vibrate with, and there is where there's a lot of this is a meditation experience for you. It's a walking meditation experience. It's something that you're going to physically do, but that you're going to receive a lot of messages for you. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Okay, they just showed me your inner child. And your inner child is ready to connect. Your inner child is ready to reconnect, which means to me it's huge, because it means that the inner child is ready to trust you and allow you to take the lead and not question what you're doing with it any longer. So you're coming in alignment. Your younger child is coming into alignment with yourself here. And this is just wild how they're showing me this experience, because it's the little you looking up at the bigger you and like, okay, I trust you, let's go. And this is beautiful way that it's being shown. So this is a huge experience for you in that trusting experience of the inner child. And that's something that you've been working with here. I just heard you said, wow, that's wild, but you've been working with your inner child for like the last 4 months here. And now this is the cycle that is clearing out for you. There's a lot of trauma here that is clearing out, as those wounds too. There's more of a father wound that you've been moving through, because this is why there's been a lot of emotion here, is because you've always wanted others to be proud of you, and now you're proud of you, and now you don't need anyone else to be proud of you. You're not looking for validation outside of you. You are looking for validation because you're proud of you. They're giving me relevance of numbers 666 and 222, which is all about balancing and harmony here. And it's also about inner child, and it's also about soulmate energy. So you're attracting more soulmates to you. Wow. Okay, the Divine Mother is coming to you, and she's shown herself to you in a dream. May have come through as a pinkish angelic being or a pink hue. All right, this is the Divine Mother starting to represent itself to you, because you're in acceptance here, right? And you're not in disbelief, okay? The Divine Mother is moving through the collective like no other, okay? Because it's in representation, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody when I say this, but in representation of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. This spiritual, okay? This spiritual, the higher self, the spirit, and the physical, right? So the Divine Mother is coming back through and showing all of herself in representation of the Maiden Mother, the crone, okay? And also as in Jesus's mother, Mary, Mary's mother, Mary, okay? As well as Mary Magdalene. So all of the energies of the Divine Mother, okay, are coming back online again. And Isis is a part of this, because Isis is one of the physical representations of creation and wisdom. Okay, and that's why she wears the throne on her head, is because it's talking about untapped wisdom. And she had the throne on the head before the hawk, and the hawk only came about when she was breathing life back into Osiris here. All right, and breathing that life force energy back into him. Long story short, this is where you were coming back online again with your highest of self and the Divine Mother. So of course it's going to be very emotional for you. And I don't know if you have a brother, but you are a lot like your brother, is what was just said. And this is also Mike coming through for you. An uncle in which you once knew. Talking about your brother. Stubborn as hell. Just like his mother. Okay? Unused energy. You have a lot of unused energy, okay? A lot of untapped energy. And they gave me a vase, and the vase is sacred because the vase is holding a very sacred oil. One of the 7 sacred oils here of Egypt is what they're showing me. And so you are working with the oils of the Divine Mother, of Mary Magdalene, okay? The herbs, the oils, this is very sacred knowledge, okay, that is coming to you with these herbs and these oils. You're learning how to anoint things. For those of you that don't know, Anubis actually was the main alchemist, and Anubis was the first one to ever mummify anyone, and he had the sacred wisdom of alchemy inside of him to be able to do these things. And what they're showing me is you tapping into the sacred wisdom of the Divine Mother and learning about the 7 sacred oils, or the holy oils, and how you're blessing things and how you're healing things as well. Okay? This is coming from a very grounded aspect of you connecting back to nature too, before they give you relevance of the blue flower, okay, that's coming to you in the next 2 weeks, okay? They're working with you with the sacredicity of the oils. So maybe sometimes you feel like there's certain smells that you smell, certain oils that you may like be seeing or feeling. But they're talking about the sacred oils that you're using. I don't know, but you're using sacred oils and you're blessing yourself with sacred oils too. And that's very important at this time for you, because you're protecting yourself from a lot of outside energies and manipulation tactics that are trying to be used against you. The Divine's asking me to put you on my prayer list too, and make sure that these energies don't mess with you. So I'm going to make sure that those energies are casted out and casted away from you as well. I just have to make a note. Prayer as moving into calling and casting out. Okay. And we'll add you as well to that list of prayer. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you for being here with me today. If you would like to work with me, mentor with me, all right, and work with those divine abilities and coming into what you're here to do of the sacredicities and the healings and the vibrations that you have, all right, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. I do talk back, all right. The link is in the bio. You can reach me through phone number, email, and website as well. It's an honor and a privilege when I get to show up here with you, for you, and for the divine too. So thank you for allowing me to be here for you today, and thank you for hanging out with me and us today. If there's anything that you would need, any healings, any type of anything, just reach out and we can work something out as well. Take care of yourselves and each other, especially these energies amp up this week, all right? What looks like chaos to you is just divine order coming through. So remember, what looks like chaos to you is just divine order that's coming through. Hopefully I'll be able to step in with you guys tomorrow, maybe midweek. We'll see as the divine speaks and peaks this week. Take care of yourselves and each other till we meet again. Mwah.